Do you like mysteries? To wander through the enigmatic mist of the inexplicable? Great. I'm Merc, and here you'll find what you're looking for. Welcome to my domains. The truth dissolves into the mist.
In 1974, a family discovered something on a remote island off the coast of Florida that would defy every known law of physics. It wasn't a spacecraft, it wasn't a weapon, and it wasn't anything the United States Navy could classify. It was a small, silver sphere, no larger than a beach ball, and it seemed to be alive. Have you ever considered that not all unidentified objects need to come from the sky? Some may have been here all along, waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. Betz family, Terry, Gary, and their son Terry Jr. were exploring a dense thicket on their property near Fort George Island when they noticed something odd. Amid the ash and charred remains of a recent brush fire, a metallic glint caught their eye. They brushed away the debris and uncovered a perfect sphere, about 8 inches in diameter, smooth to the touch, with a strange triangular marking etched into its surface. The sphere was heavy, much heavier than a solid ball of steel of the same size. It felt dense, almost unnaturally so. They took it home, assuming it was some kind of artillery relic or perhaps a piece of space debris. They had no idea that they had just invited an enigma into their living room. For weeks, the sphere sat on a windowsill, gathering dust. But then, something impossible happened. Terry Jr., an amateur musician, was playing his guitar in the living room when the sphere began to move. Not a subtle vibration, not a slow slide, but a deliberate, coordinated roll across the hardwood floor. It stopped directly at his feet. He played another chord, and the sphere rolled back. He changed the melody, and the sphere changed direction. It was as if the ball was dancing to the music. The family stared in disbelief. They tested it again and again. Every note, every rhythm, seemed to elicit a specific response from the object. It was not random. It was reactive. It was intelligent. Think about that for a moment. An object with no visible propulsion, no internal mechanism you can hear, no remote control, responding to acoustic frequencies as if it understood them. What would you do if something in your home started moving on its own, following the sound of your voice or your instrument? Most people would run. The Betz family, however, decided to investigate. Over the following days, the sphere demonstrated behavior that defied simple explanation. It would roll across the floor, stop abruptly, and change direction without any noticeable inertia. It avoided obstacles like table legs and furniture with precision. It even seemed to respond to the family's voices, not just the guitar. When Gary spoke to it softly, it would inch closer. When they tried to push it, the sphere resisted, not with force, but with a strange, almost magnetic counterpressure. And then there were the vibrations. Anyone who touched the sphere reported a low, internal hum, like a distant engine running deep inside a mountain. The object was not dead. It was waiting. Betz family did what any logical person would do. They contacted the press. The story broke in January 1974, and within days, reporters from across the country descended on their small Florida home. The sphere became a national sensation. Headlines read, "Mystery Sphere dances to music, and is this an alien probe?" Skeptics called it a hoax, but the family welcomed anyone to come and test the object for themselves, and many did. Engineers, journalists, curious neighbors, all watched as the silver ball rolled, stopped, and reversed direction on command. No one could explain how no one could replicate it with magnets or wires. The sphere was a perfect anomaly. Then, the United States Navy arrived. Officially, they were there to conduct routine tests. Unofficially, they wanted to know if the sphere posed a threat. A team of technicians from the Naval Air Station in Jacksonville took the sphere to their laboratory. They X-rayed it, scanned it with magnetic field detectors, and even subjected it to high-intensity sound waves. The sphere revealed nothing. Its internal structure was a mystery. X-rays showed dense, concentric layers of metal, but no identifiable components, no batteries, no circuits, no power source. It was as if the sphere was a solid piece of impossibly engineered material that should not have been able to move on its own. But it did. After several weeks, the Navy returned the sphere to the Betz family with a single statement. The object was inert. It posed no danger, and they had no further interest in it. But the family noticed something strange. After the Navy returned it, the sphere no longer responded to music. It no longer rolled on its own. It sat silent and dead on their table. The family believed the Navy had done something to it, drained it, deactivated it, or perhaps simply replaced it with a replica. The Navy denied everything. The official record was closed. The case was forgotten. But you know as well as I do that closed cases are rarely solved cases, and forgotten evidence often hides the most disturbing truths. The Betz sphere disappeared from public view for decades. The family eventually sold their property, and the sphere was lost, stolen, or hidden. No one knows for sure. But the story did not end in 1974. It waited, like the sphere itself, for a new voice to speak. Fast forward to 2026, 52 years after the sphere first rolled across a living room floor. The Internet has resurrected countless cold cases, but few have generated as much quiet dread as the Betz sphere. Then, a woman came forward. She identified herself as the granddaughter of one of the naval technicians who had analyzed the sphere in 1974. Her name was not released for privacy reasons, but her testimony was recorded and verified by independent researchers. According to her, her grandfather had broken his silence on his deathbed. He told her that the Navy had lied, not about the sphere's existence, but about their understanding of it. Her grandfather confessed that the Navy never determined what the sphere was. They had no idea how it moved, why it responded to sound, or what its purpose might be. The official report calling it inert was a cover story. In reality, the technicians were terrified. The sphere, when exposed to certain electromagnetic frequencies in the lab, would not only move, but also emit a pulsing glow from within its metallic shell. The triangular marking on its surface would change orientation, as if it was aligning with something unseen. The humming sound, the one the family described, grew louder and more complex, almost like a language. The Navy isolated the sphere in a lead-lined room, but the signals continued. They detected low-frequency emissions that matched no known terrestrial or atmospheric phenomenon. Think about the implications. A device that communicates, moves, and reacts to its environment, yet contains no identifiable power source or mechanism. That is not a rock. That is not debris. That is technology. And if it is technology, who made it? And why was it left on a small island in Florida? The granddaughter also revealed that the sphere was not unique. Her grandfather mentioned, in his final days, that the Navy had encountered similar objects before. Small, metallic spheres, often found near military installations or after strange atmospheric events. Most were inert, dead shells. But the Betz sphere was different. It was active, and it seemed to be waiting for something. The Navy attempted to destroy a similar sphere in a controlled test in the late 1960s. According to her grandfather, the sphere absorbed the explosive force without damage. It simply sat in the center of a crater, unmarked, still humming. They buried that sphere in an undisclosed location. The Betz sphere, they returned to the family, hoping it would simply be forgotten. But it was not forgotten. And now, in 2026, the sphere is missing. The Betz family claims they lost track of it after moving from Florida. Some believe the Navy retrieved it in secret. Others think it was sold to a private collector. A few whisper that the sphere did not want to be found, that it moved on its own one last time and rolled into the swamps, disappearing into the mud and reeds where it waits still. There is no concrete evidence for any of these theories, only silence, and the testimony of a dying man who carried a secret for half a century. So where does that leave us? You are watching this video in a world where an object of unknown origin, capable of intelligent behavior, was held in a Navy laboratory and then released back to a civilian family. No public inquiry, no congressional hearing, no follow-up investigation. Just a statement that it was inert and a quiet erasure from the historical record. Does that not disturb you more than the sphere itself? The idea that something so inexplicable could be handled, studied, and then dismissed without consequence, as if the universe owes us an explanation we are too afraid to accept. Betz sphere is more than a mystery. It is a test of how we respond to the truly unknown. The family failed the test when they called the Navy. The Navy failed when they lied. And we fail every time we scroll past this story without asking the hard questions. What else is out there? What else has been found and then hidden? And what will happen when the next sphere rolls into someone's living room, and this time it does not stop when the music ends? The granddaughter ended her testimony with a haunting detail. She said that on the night her grandfather died, the lights in her home flickered 3 times. Her television turned on by itself, displaying static, and from the speakers faintly she heard a low hum, the same hum her grandfather had described. The same hum recorded in a Navy lab in 1974. She turned off the TV, and the hum continued for several seconds before fading. She has not spoken publicly since. The sphere, wherever it is, may still be listening, and it may still be waiting for the right frequency, the right voice, the right moment to respond. The question is, do you really want to be there when it does?
Did you like this mystery? And what is your theory? Leave your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed it, then like and share. I'm Merc, and I'll be waiting for you in the next mystery.